So this is my Kawasaki EX500 or Ninja 500 twin cylinder 500cc that I have made my own cylinder and pistons and everything to turn it into a two-stroke. So my latest update on this is I've turbocharged it, which is sort of unusual, a turbocharger on a two-stroke, but this has its own induction system so it will work. So different parts of the thing. Intercooler you see here, and then here's the fuel injector bodies. So you see it's a reed valve. This is a map sensor intake here. So these are the rear exhausts. It uses all four valves as exhaust valves, so it's port inlet, 4-valve exhaust. It's similar to a Detroit, but it has its own pumping mechanism in the pistons. The pistons are quite different. You can see my earlier video to see that. So you see the rear exhaust coming out where the carburetors were originally on the head. And so the intercooler flows horizontally through here, down, and then charges back into the two independent throttle bodies there. And then the reed valves in here. Different parts of it. Here's the fuel pump, high pressure line, fuel in. It runs on microsquirt fuel injection. This is a ECU. Main exhaust. Go around, so the rear exhausts here, 2-into-1 collector, go in, forward and down, and then here's the turbo on the front of it. It just has there's a shield, a stainless shield, just to stop the cold air from cooling too much the hot side. Plus it turns the hot side into a blast furnace if you let the air blow on it. So there's the main pipe coming down. Oil drain out of the turbo into the front of the pan. I'll go around the other side. Better view. All the different carbon work that this is so it could clear this is a new tank and seat mount. For example, here's the mould I made for that. It's just machined out of Randboard. My CNC router and autoclaved the part. Here's the cooling duct for the intercooler, goes on top of the intercooler. Anyway, little turbo in the front. It's a VZ21 turbo. It's a Chinese turbo. So here's the oil pressure feed into the top of the turbo. Wastegate here, and then wastegate control. There's the charge tube here. Round goes up into the intercooler. These are a rubber, 2 O-rings, rubber jelly joint sort of thing. So this intercooler is about 140 horsepower capacity. So these tanks are bonded to these rings, and these rings are O-ringed onto the intercooler. The fuel outlet from the tank. There's the main fuel line into the fuel rail. So it has low pressure direct injection. So there's one of the fuel injectors onto the front of the cylinder. So this is direct injected. Fuel filter here, fuel rail here. So one of the water cooling lines, water cooling coming into the cylinder. Is the front exhaust. So these are the original exhaust ports. So it has, as I said, 4 valves for each exhaust. Different parts. The cylinder is about 1.5 inches taller than the original cylinder. You can see my earlier video to see how it was constructed and made and the design of it. This uses KTM reeds. There you go. I'll add another video to my channel here of it running. There's already one of it being constructed and run, but as a normally aspirated engine last year, but now it's turbocharged intercooled, so we'll see how that goes.